Can't you see?
Mhm.
We are live. We are live. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. I'm Robert Henderson Jr., President, Founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. We're a full service financial planning firm. And of course, you can see I have my wonderful sister-in-law, Miss Linda Harris, still moving around. How you doing there, Miss Harris?
I'm doing well. I miss my fan. Where's the fan?
Well, you can go ahead. You want me to take you off camera and get your fan, turn your air conditioner on. We know what time it is. And we got the one and only, my brother from another mother, Mr. James T. How you doing, James? You got a fan for you can handle?
Yeah, I'm a fan. Hey, I'm fanning.
Please, somebody handle her fan.
Oh my goodness,
You don't want
goodness.
the sweat come off your brow.
I am wonderful. I am wonderful, Robert, and it's so good. Linda makes us look good. You know, all the ladies
Yes.
love Linda. All the ladies love Linda. So they'll be complimenting and telling her how she's glammed out with her
Linda
beautiful,
love the ladies,
right? And with her beautiful earrings. Rob, we might have to get a diamond or something in our ear, I guess, in order to be up. What do they call it? Today's date or whatever.
I know. The styles change so much. Things change so much.
Well, guess what?
I'm moving so fast.
Linda, I'm waiting for it to come back.
You waiting for it to come back?
Yes, keep the clothes in there. Keep the bell bottoms in there. They come right back.
They're coming back? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't have no bell bottoms.
Yeah, history just repeats itself, you know?
But
okay.
Yeah. But Rob, thank you so much for all that you do. Linda, thank you for all that you do. And last week, Rob said that, hey, we were going to talk development today. And when we talk about development, we're probably going to have joining us too, Brother Bill. But Linda, I spoke with Mr. Brown, Jonathan, and they're still doing workforce housing. They're still getting monies and grants for workforce housing. And on the news this week, I saw where they were promoting, throughout Palm Beach County. And I'm sure if it's happening in Palm Beach, I know it's happening in Dade because you guys go up 17 and 18 stories. Lord have mercy. They limit us in Palm Beach County to go up. I think we can go up on the main streets with commercial buildings. We can go up 40. It's either 48 or 54. So 4 stories is the highest. But, so Robert said we were going to talk development. So Mr. Henderson, hey, kick us off. Where are we headed today?
Well, I had to mute y'all because for some reason they started working on the roof here in the building right as we started. So I'm be in and out. But we said that we're going to talk about development. And Linda, I want you to bring us in on development, the world. People, I know you had a conversation with one of our clients is in Alabama. Tell us about what was her issue?
Absolutely. Erin Harris, no relation. I love it when I get calls from women. I love it when women call and say, I got this land, want to do this. Grandpappy left me this and my husband not doing anything with it. I want to do it. And I think if nothing else, what I want to spark is by us talking about this, that, wait a minute, if she can do it, I can do it. Because that's what I say. If he can do it and she can do it and they can do it, I can do it. So Erin called at your urging, Robert. Thank you so much. And she's in Huntsville, Alabama. This is one thing about this process. Other than some local laws and where the local politicians want to pull and direct the money, it's pretty much cookie cutter. You follow me? The process. Now, how you get your money and what sources, depending on your state or municipality, that's where the difference comes in. But she called, she had some land. She had somebody that said, listen, I'll partner with you if you let me be your developer. And she was like, okay, I think, because I don't know what I'm doing. What should I do? And so Robert had her call me and I told her, what has she built? Well, this is her first one. Ooh, okay. She's new at this as well. Ooh, that's interesting. Are you giving up half of your ownership? And this, I can't tell her one way or the other, but these are some things developers think about, Robert. Are you putting equity or debt in it? And a good developer, has she gone out and got the money? Does she know where to get the money from? Does she know the appetite for the local politicians or municipality? Do they need elderly housing, kids aging out of foster care, affordable homes, workforce housing? What is it they need? Because that's going to dictate your pot of money. And so she said, oh, I don't think she asked. I don't know yet. Does she have a relationship with a bank or what we call a CDFI, which is a little more lenient than a bank? They get their money from the Treasury Department. Oh, I don't know that. Okay, what's your zoning? How high can you go? That's what your developer should know. Does it have the infrastructure? Is it an 8-inch water main? Because if you have over 20 units, you're going to need 12-inch water main. Is there a building nearby? You follow me? Because you need a fire hydrant. Will you be the first one to put it in? Because you're going to have to spend the money. So all of her responses was, I don't know. Ooh. And that's fine. And so now it's your job to get to know it. And as that person that's coming to you saying, I want to partner with you and be your developer, that's the job of a developer. Come to me with all.
Why do you need a? But if you do, you always need a developer, Linda? If you have a plot of land next door, is it always advisable to get a developer? And so, also tell us what a developer does.
Wait, before Rob, do she need a developer to partner with her? It becomes the question, because when a person when a person comes at me and want to partner with me, I want to know who my partner is. I don't just because, hey, Rob, we've been friends for over 30 some years, so we can partner, but somebody coming out of the blue that you don't know, and you're going to,
that's huge.
That's huge. That I think, well, go ahead, Linda, help me out with that.
What is that? And what is partner? Is that 50-50? Give us some more, walk us through like we're a 6-year-old. Okay. So grandma left us a plot of land. Mm-hmm. There's enough to build a house. We want to build a house. Then the thought of a developer comes in. Why do we need Superman, Superwoman, developer? And what is their role? And what is this partnership? Give us some sort of idea. Talk to us like we're 6 years old.
Absolutely. First of all, you don't need a developer. You can be your own developer. It depends on your time. I like doing it because I learn. It's hard for me to pass off a task to someone that I don't know how to do it myself, because then I can put a value on it.
But what is a developer? What is a developer? In order for you to determine, do you need one or can you be one? Give us a description. What does the job entail? What does the vision entail?
The developer is the quarterback. The developer is the band leader, the lead singer. When you ask what the developer's job is, I was at an event the other night for Black developers, and a young lady said, what's the degree I need to be You don't need a degree. You don't need a degree. Let me say this 100 times. There is no major called developer. Now you can go to Bill Dozier's program and learn how to do it. But what a developer does is he puts all the pieces together, he or she. And so my job as a developer, I can say, is know the ideal, know the infrastructure. Again, you got to make sure that there's adequate infrastructure. On Casa de Linda, thank goodness that gentleman just put up 398 units across the street, because he had to put up a 12-inch water main. And if he hadn't done it first, guess what, Rob? We would have had to do it. So I had to check on the infrastructure. Do we have the hydrants within 150? This is a developer's job before I go to you as the owner. Also, ma'am, the zoning. Yes, I know you want to build a house, but did you know they just changed the density and they've upzoned it? And then you got to go, okay, how do I change it? Well, I need a variance or a special use permit. All this stuff developers should know. That is their job. And so they need relationships with the local municipality. This is why I go to a lot of events and, the budget hearings and the CRA meetings. I want to know the person that's going to make a decision on whether or not I get that grant money or I'm going to get a favorable vote for zoning. I actually had to call each commissioner for Casa de Linda, go and meet with them and tell them this is the plan. And, again, I got to send out letters to the neighbors. This is a developer and this takes time. And now let's talk about getting the money.
Well, before you go there, remember we're 6-year-olds. Okay. So you mentioned the word infrastructure. That's another vocabulary. That's some lingo that the average person don't know. Infrastructure, because people come to me all the time and they'll call and say, Mr. Henderson, my great grandmother left me some land, and it's in the middle of nowhere, and it's timber, and I want to build a house. So, what is this infrastructure? Because you mentioned the lots that we have in North Miami. Thank God that somebody they built the 300 and something unit apartment building right across the street from ours. And they had to do the infrastructure. So tell us more about this infrastructure and give us a visual.
So it's great to have land, but if you don't have the capacity or fancy word infrastructure, where's the water coming from? If there's nothing else around there, and even sometimes, Robert, my Nomi Lofts, the 5 unit, I had to put in 300 feet of 8-inch water main because the county says I want a hydrant 150 feet from that building. There was no infrastructure, so I got to run the pipes. Infrastructure could be your water line. Do you have it where it'll feed into your building? You need a fire hydrant within a certain amount of distance, again, depending on the location. Infrastructure. Does FP&L tap into that? Is it underground wires or overhead? And what's the nearest station that, so you can at least have a pole there and proper electricity? That's very important. Comcast. Now, they usually serve everywhere, but there are some dry spots where, you want to get cable.
Wi-Fi.
And Wi-Fi, absolutely. Absolutely.
Linda, and before we even get to that, a lot of times being that 6-year-old, see, my grandmama taught me something, a little something. And see, my thing is, I want to ask the question is, I want highest and best use. I may have in my mind, I want to build a house, but if I can do 8 units, 10 units, that may change my mind because I already got a house. So I may want income property. So that's why I think people like yourself, for this late, I'm glad that Robert turned her on to you, so she can think about, well, I just want to build a house and rent the house. No. Why not build units?
Right. So a developer will tell you that what you're saying, James. 100%. You need a developer because being just a school teacher or it's not their field, but you have an idea, you have a vision. You still need a developer unless you're going to do it like Linda and go to school to find out what you don't know and what you need to know.
Absolutely.
Go to those commission meetings, Rob. See, that's how I found, because first of all, when they once they were going to do 50, I think it was 54 or 58 feet high, you could go up. And because they were saying the unit on the top of the building might want high ceilings and all, you can get all these things because they go into workshops, and we don't go to the workshop, or we don't get the printout. And now you don't have to even go into the commission meeting because it's online. Absolutely. But you need to know and to link up, as Linda said. One of those keys is linking up with the commissioners, knowing what they're thinking, knowing what projects they're doing, and knowing what's coming down the line. So in many of the areas, there's also they call it CRA, Community
Redevelopment Agency.
Right. Well, they know what's coming in the future, Rob. So before you decide what you're going to do, get as much information so that you can have choices. That's what I'm saying to when you start out there. And then 100%. You need to meet with people who I have told people who want to go in business and in certain areas, wait a minute, use people that have worked with the city and that have a relationship with the city. Because believe me, just because you are living in a certain county or a certain city, no, you're still dealing with human beings. And some people there are get a minimum wage and you're not a priority.
Ooh, don't I know that one? Man, I'm waiting on some grant money for my 11 unit building. And when I call, she's on break. Guess what? She got a week off. Can anyone else help me? Nope. You got to wait for Miss Reese to come back. Oof. Miss Reese, come back. Miss Reese, you didn't send the attachment. Oh, we having an office party. And as soon as the office party over, I said, I'm about to go down there and punch Miss Reese in the throat because I am so, Yeah, you got to deal with. And so I literally had to dial that back because, like I said, working with Robert, you wanted 2 minutes ago. And that type of urgency on my part didn't work for the county workers. So I had to dial that back and hey girl. Anyway,
What makes for a good contractor and a good deal, Miss Linda?
again, that old adage, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And it has to pencil out. And with the cost of construction materials now and building, it's a lot of stuff is hard to pencil out. I've learned to try to keep it, for those of us who don't have the 100 or 1,000 unit budget just yet, I plan on it. An elevator is another 150, 200,000. So how about doing a 2-story walk up or a 3-story walk up? Also, each garage, each parking spot, if you want to do a garage, is about 30,000. That's a lot of money for not getting rent back on that. So what makes a good deal? You got to, just pencil that sucker out, include the land acquisition. Thank goodness, we own our own land, everybody on this screen right here. And so we don't have to include land acquisition. However, we do at some point want to pay ourselves back. But to your point, Robert, that's the definition of a developer. All of those things I mentioned. And now you're talking about finding the money. After you've done all of that.
But first, when you do find somebody who a developer, because you don't have time for that, you just have an idea and you want to see what you can and cannot do. What about this partnership? I mean, how do if you don't even know, and this is your beginning, and a developer said they want to partner, what does that mean? 50-50, 70-30, 80-20? What does that mean?
It means whatever you negotiate. Now, let's say I come to you and your grandmama left you some land. If I were you, maybe I'm just not a big partner person. If you own the land, you don't really need a partner. You need someone that wants to get paid a developer fee. Unless they're going to put real money in it, or maybe leave their developer fee in the deal. A developer fee can be about 16% of the construction cost, not what we call soft costs, not the accountant, not the soil test, not the building permit. The hard construction cost is what a developer gets paid from. So if that's, $3 million, then you want a percentage of just what it costs to build that building. Do you need a partner? Well, you may say, if I pay you that 16%, I won't cash flow out. Then I would say, Mr. Henderson, why don't I leave my 16% in the deal? I'll work for nothing. I'll go find the money. I'll break ground. I'll get this sucker built for equity in the building, in the finished product.
However, that's for a lifetime. That's for a lifetime, right, Linda?
No, you could do a buyout. I don't like lifetime.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful.
I get my developer fee, it may take the first 10 years. And then after that, the buyout happens and you have 100% control. There's one thing about this business is so flexible. So flexible, yeah. But you don't know what you don't know, so you don't know what to ask for.
Well, okay. So I'm getting a good picture. I'm thinking that people, our audience is getting a better picture. So that's the developer helps you do your due diligence and tell you how much it's going to cost and take you through the steps. Correct. So if you don't know anything, a developer is like your chaperone, for lack of a better word, a chaperone to help you, guide you through building on grandmama's land. And you mentioned something about a soil test. Even if you have a lot there that your grandma left you and you want to build a house, I know if it's in the middle of nowhere, you need to get infrastructure, which means you got to make sure there's plumbing. I mean, you can't just, you got to get water somewhere. You got to make sure that there's less electricity and electrical.
Absolutely. Roads.
Right. Roads and how, if it's dirt roads, a lot of people go out and buy swampland and be ripped off way in the middle of nowhere, and they don't know anything about timber. But what if someone who actually there's a lot around the corner? Do you still have to get a soil test?
It depends. Some lenders do want it. Most of them do, Robert. especially if there's a gas station within a mile or dry cleaners, all those businesses that use certain chemicals, you know what I mean? They're going to want a soil test. There's certain phases, at least a phase one, even with Casa de Linda, with all those buildings around it, it's like no gas station. I still had to get at least a phase one, which is just the first step. That was about $2,500, just to make sure, you know, they got to go down maybe 12 to 15 feet to make sure there's no contamination. So yeah, you want it at least, and then if they do find anything, then there's a phase two, which costs a little more money. But for the most part, most people must get a phase one. Yeah.
What agencies would help you to screen out developers if you wanted to speak with more than one developer, or if you wanted to check them out and see what their history is like, what they've done, have they built what you're trying to build? You know, because like you say, everybody doesn't have to have a degree to be a developer. So I can just know a plumber,
And that happens a lot. Everybody just put on the hat.
right. You know, and all of a sudden I think I got a team, so I'm going to become your developer, Linda. But so are there any agencies, or what would you suggest someone do to screen out whether they're getting a competent developer?
We were recommended by the local CRA. I would go to the local CRA.
Okay.
Because they convey land very often. And believe me, they're not short on recommendations because they want to get the building built, and they know who has, you know, got it done on time and at or under budget. So they would have some information. Another thing that I do quite often, it's a whole new part of my life. I'm driving, I see a building. I turn around, I go ask whoever's working on that building, whether it's the asphalt guy, or I may look at the sign and say another project by James T. Enterprises, and there's a phone number. I'm calling, and I'm going to say, hey, I know you the GC. Who are you working with? So it's a matter of, again, doing a little homework. But for the most part, there's no database. It is who in that area is kicking butt. Who have you seen around there? And I would go to my local CRA or commissioner and say, hey, commissioner, I noticed there's certain buildings going on in your area. Who's behind it? Who's doing it? You know what I mean? And that's really, really important. So, and then once you do all that, you better have the right GC. I was at a meeting with North Miami Public Works, again, for that darn 8-inch water main. And he was sharing a horror story where someone around Casa de Linda built the building too close to the back of the sidewalk, and somebody mismeasured. And thank God they had just poured the foundation, but they got to rip that up. Ooh. So now if you don't have a good GC, now we're getting into that. It can.
Well, what's the difference between? So what's the difference between a developer, okay, and a contractor? Because now you piling on. It's like I just see more money. Okay, so walk me through this like a 6-year-old has a plot has a lot that grandma left you, okay. So you need a developer to help you because you school teacher but you have this land free and clear. So to give you the vision and take you through the steps, chaperone you through this process, then either you're going to do it or you're going to have a developer. Now tell me about the GC. When do they come in?
The developer hires the GC. It is part of the developer's scope of services and things to do and things on his checklist to not only do what we just prior talked about, you know, making sure the infrastructure is there, the zoning is there, what kind of density and all that good stuff. Now we know what we can build. We know how high we can go. Who's the most competent general contractor that's going to get us to the finish line? That's going to be not only at budget, but hopefully under budget. That's going to deliver that product on time. So to answer your question, the GC is actually the person that the developer hires. What I've done with Nomi Lawson, we're doing with Casa de Linda, I love saying that, is we send out bids. The architect gives us a set of plans because now I've sat with him and we have a vision and we're going to put a rooftop garden and we're going to do this. Now, hear ye. Here's 10 developers. I'm sending you these plans. Come with your best shot. So when they do come back with their bids, Not only are you looking for the lowest bidder, but I'm looking for what have you done? I'm driving by there. I'm going to ask, did it come in on time? I'm going to ask, who are your subcontractors? Is it Junebugs Plumbing? Is it James T. Roofing? And are they bondable? And are they reputable? So it's a lot of back office. You can't just go get your homeboy that, him and his boys need work and they don't halfway show up. So I need a GC that's a rock star. So that's
most people know I use metaphors because I have to have a visual. So as you was talking, I thought about, so I said, I thought about, and I'm going to use a medical metaphor, going to the doctor. So if you go to the doctor and it's a general practitioner, that's like going to, and he looks at, he does your blood work and he wants to look at your x-rays. That's like a developer. But he might not be the person who's going to, and he says you need to have an operation. He might not be the person who's going to perform the surgery operation. The person who's going to perform the operation, that's a general contractor. That's a GC to do the cutting and doing all that and be in the operating room. And just because the developer, i.e. the doctor, looked at your blood work, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be in the operating room, right?
100%. With a little caveat, the developer is definitely in that operating room every single day. You've given me a schedule and I need to make sure you're on it. You're supposed to be pouring concrete this day. How we doing? Did you get the inspection? Developer stays in there because her money depends on that. So to your point, he is just the one that diagnosed, but he's not the one doing the surgery, but he's staying in that operating room because he got to get paid. Or she.
Rob said he's got a contractor that's got a GC up above his head because they banging.
Because you hear, Robert, a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my GC license. Oh, I got a GC license." But what have you done? If you got a GC license, I bet you if I were to ask you some questions, you wouldn't know it because it's all experience.
So that's like a doctor. That's like a doctor just looking for an operating room.
First time.
First time. A doctor. He's a surgeon, but he ain't cut nobody.
But I can hear a lot of brothers and sisters saying, "Well, how do I get the experience? If you won't hire me because I haven't operated on anyone, I would say I would partner. I would." I work with a developer.
Go to somebody else.
Hey, that's like having a rookie doctor. Hey, the rookie doctor got the scalpel in hand, walking around. That's GC. He ain't cut nobody. He ain't did no operation, but he ready.
Robert, if he got a scalpel in his hand, don't do that. Because I have a brother, Dr. Ronald Moore, who's a laparoscopic surgeon. He don't use scalpels no more. So if if he walks out with a scalpel, yeah. Okay.
But sometimes, like I did, Rob, I literally, I worked with Riva Development for about 5 or 6 years for free. Of course, I was able to do it because I have a passive income, but I was just there learning. So for those who saying, how do I get it? How do I get on? You may have to just go and just offer your services, learn how to do it, be on that site from beginning to end. Like we're going to do with your daughter, Jasmine, with the Vickers house. I mean, find someone that's going to say, okay, come on, this is the beginning, and let me just put you in. Now, I may have to repeat myself, but I'm willing to do it so you can learn. And it's, you got to want to do it. Everything I'm sitting here talking about, it takes patience. And like I said, personalities. You may have to dial back your, personality, but if you really love doing it, you'll do it. And
but Linda, so we talked about the developer, and we talked about, being the, does the x-rays and all that and diagnose and the blood work. And then we talked about also the contractor actually doing the work and getting the subs and getting this drywall and doing all that and then pricing it out. But like my daughter, Jasmine and Curtis Keckler, and Antonio, they went to project management course. Now, where do they come in at? Project manager.
They are the ones that very often will report to the developer and work with the GC. It is their job to make sure that project is managed correctly. they're going to be out there when to make sure those concrete trucks, there's supposed to be 5 of them lined up. Project manager every day is calling and making sure that they're on schedule, that the site is prepared and prepped for the concrete. Now, the roof is supposed to come in. They better know the weather. You know, look at the forecast. I don't want to hear we couldn't do the roof because it rained. You didn't know it was going to rain? They got a Doppler radar now. That project manager need to know to make sure that roof gets there and right down, like I said, to knowing the weather report. And then they got to make sure the trusses are delivered. I don't want to hear the truck broke down or I didn't know they were closed today at the factory. That they have to manage that project from top to bottom.
Yeah,
and then when it's all done, they got to close.
I know they have to deal with. I know they have to deal with OSHA to make sure the safety and make sure the people that are working are wearing their hard hats and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot goes into
it really is
building. Yeah, I mean, you know, really, people like to say it's easy.
Yeah, I don't want to discourage people.
I mean, people like to say it's easy, but I always say you got something good when it's considered hard to the naked eye. That's how you can get away from fly-by-nighters, people that get scammed all the time. You know, invest this money, it's easy, you'll make a lot of money. No, anything that's really good and kosher, really good, it takes skills and know-how. So it's not just so easy. Run away from anything that say easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. Yeah. So Linda, the reason why you haven't been here every Saturday is because one, most important thing, you're taking care of my mother-in-law, your mother, you actually joining in with that. And that's a task that I have never even imagined as I've witnessed dealing with the elderly. My mom, she passed away August last year. And she didn't get to that point, but a lot of this is happening now when elderly are needing a whole lot of elderly care. So we take our hat off for you for doing that. And we know you doing that and also juggling, learning this whole development and contracting and building skills. So we take our hat out. So we give you permission to not be here. Me and James been holding it down.
Thank you so much.
But that's why we want to have you come back to discuss and share with the audience just how important this is and just how detailed, how you really had to put a lot of attention into it, and you still doing it. And it's not a quick fix. It's something that you have to be in. You can't fake this, can you?
No.
You have to know it. You have to know what you're doing.
Really do. You have to be on top of it, because you're talking about not only your money, but other people's money. I mean, millions of dollars. I'm not talking about a couple dollars here and there. Nomi Law's budget blew up from $800,000 to $1.2 million because the cost. And so now, as a developer, you're going back to the drawing board. I had to go back to the CRA because I wasn't the only one asking for more money. Casa de Linda, right now the budget is a little south of $8 million, 7 point something. According to Miami-Dade housing director, he said that's too much. That's about $380 per unit, and the going rate should be much less. So do you have an elevator? What's your parking like? Go back to the drawing board, Miss Developer, which is what I'm doing.
Yeah. So he said it's too much.
Yeah.
The cost? Is that a good thing? Or bad thing?
That's a bad thing. I got to go back and do what we call value engineering. What is it I'm missing? I can't get around the parking. They want 1.5 parking spots per person, unless it's elderly, unless a certain percent elderly, because they don't drive as much. So
the rules and the detours dictate your moves.
Oh yeah,
Rob, that was why I was bringing into the conversation. Remember, you're going to be dealing with humans, and their job is those inspectors, as you go through different phases, because a lot of times some of the things I've been doing has been held up because the inspector won't come. FP&L don't come out at the same, they'll schedule you. They'll schedule you and tell you. And here you are waiting or having someone to wait for them to come. They don't come. Yeah.
I had to call my brother Broderick, who been with FPNL for what, 30 something, almost 40 years. And Brody, I mean, I need this, temporary service here on this construction site. And he was on it. Next thing I know, Rodrigo was calling me. And
that's the key, Linda. See, and what Linda just said is so important. Knowing people, having a relationship. And more than that, like, I used to have a lot of people say, oh yeah, I know him. Well, does him know you? That becomes the key. That's huge. That's
absolutely.
huge.
Absolutely. But again, it can be done. And I hear people saying, oh, look what they building in our neighborhoods. They taking over. They not doing anything. Either we're selling it to them or we just feel we can't do it and don't have the tenacity. You got this. So they're not doing anything, but it's on our watch.
And I want everybody to know this, she's calling this building that she's building these 21 units, and she's calling it Casa de Linda, and I just want y'all to know that I am her partner on there, and I bought that land and brought her into it.
I was waiting for that.
And she says, Robert, we're going to call this whole building Casa de Linda. And I said, I don't care what you call it, as long as they spell my name right on the check. but
yes, he said that.
But Linda, you said you mentioned CRA. Now, as a CRA, tell us more about that, because people who are here locally, there's some people who don't even know what a CRA and what they do and what's their position and what's their power. Tell us about that.
Community redevelopment agencies are formed by, I believe it's on the state level, and their job is to find certain areas in the city. Their job is to eliminate blight and improve the property values of certain areas. For instance, Bell Harbor doesn't have a CRA. There is no blight. You follow me? North Miami, they have boundaries. Certain parts of it does, not the kind that's, on the intercoastal. So it is our job, again, as developers, to find out what's the boundaries of Delray Beach's CRA or Palm Beach's CRA. And very often, a lot of us, because CRAs are usually to improve blighted areas, and we own land in blighted areas, don't we?
Right.
Big Mama left us land. So now they formed a CRA 20 years ago. And that CRA's job, they're given a certain amount of money. I go to all the budget hearings of the CRA. They have to give us their priority. What's their blueprint? North Miami CRA is big on eliminating evictions. Not so much as giving developers money to build workforce housing. They want to do rental assistance. So we need to know what the plan is for the CRA.
So there's CRAs all over the country in every neighbor, almost every. I know not the affluent neighborhoods, I don't really need them, but the middle class to the low income, you'll find CRAs.
You will.
So is that why a lot of wealthy people will go in the hood, in Missouri or something, and they will cap and get that CRA money to build apartments when the people in the area didn't know that there was funds available for development? Is that true?
That is 100% true. The CRA has a budget for you to give developers, and it really is grant money. I mean, meaning you don't have to pay it back. However, don't think you can get something for nothing. They still want you to make it affordable, which is such a loose term. Affordable for a one bedroom is $2,000. Is that really affordable?
But Rob and Linda, here's one of the things that you've got to, and this is why it's so important that we vote. Yeah, I know we're excited about the presidential election, but the people who make decisions about where you live is not in Washington, D.C. The people who make the real impactful decisions, they're in your city hall, and you don't care about voting for them. You don't care who put them in office. I do. When I get to those judges where they don't say they're Democrat or Republican, guess what? I do their background, and I want to know who put them up to be a judge. Woo! Now you got. But here's one thing, Linda, that I want to say about the CRA, particularly in a little area where I live, or well, anyway, what did I know? The CRA gets taken over by the commission, and the commissioners are the ones who make the decision.
Making the decision.
So,
Whoa.
we,
Wow.
so see, when it comes time to vote, that CRA director may be the director, but they're not the final decision maker.
100%.
Therefore, that's why it's so important, folks. Hey, know who's on that commission. Know those, and let them know who you are and what your
That's what's
desires are.
important.
Gentrification is not a bad word. It's just that you and I let them do the gentrifying. We
Well,
can do the gentrifying.
well, all fairness, I'm glad we're talking about this because
Mhm.
there's millions and millions of people that don't even know the function of a CRA. They don't even know that a CRA is even there. They don't even know anything about. There's no high school class before you graduate to know about CRAs. I mean, who's going to tell a person about a CRA, the Community Realization? What it called? What is it called?
Redevelopment agency.
Redevelopment
Redevelopment Agency.
And
I
they
mean,
and Rob, wait, right here. And they only purchase the land to give it to a what, Linda? To a developer.
To a developer.
See, people get mad and say the CRA owns that, the CRA owns that. No, the CRA purchased that, and they're going to give it off to a developer, and the commissioners are usually going to be the decision makers as to who come in and who builds what.
okay, so let me walk this through because y'all know I'm a visual person, okay, and you got to talk to me like I'm a 6-year-old. Okay, I do this all the time when I'm going around the country, and I'm the only person of color in that conference. I always say, "Oh, wait a minute. Are you
You
all
say that
saying
in front of all of those white folks?
I don't care. I don't care if they was zebras. I don't care if they was blue or green. I don't care. I got to know because I got to understand this stuff. Okay, it's not like I'm in high school and I'm scared to hold my hand up and say, "Hey, what's a mortgage?" I'm at this point now. If I don't know it, I'm going to ask you. All right. So you're saying that, and it's for people who are listening also. So this CRA, there is a lot of communities, especially in middle to low income areas, that the people don't know that there is a source, and this source is called CRA
resource.
There's a resource that James, we know what the source is, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, all right. I stand corrected, brother. You know that we can't never forget the source. At least these are resources. I'm down with that. Okay, so there's a resource in these areas. So let's get a visual. You think about Detroit, think about Missouri, think about some parts of Florida. So every state, Atlanta. A lot of the citizens don't know. All they see is this land and these buildings going up, and they think that there was rich people just came in there and they put all their money out of their pocket and they built that, and they feel they can't do it. They don't know how the game is played. They don't know that there's a CRA that says if anybody can come in here and straighten this place out and make this place look more beautiful and can develop and put buildings and houses and things like that, we want to give you some money for free. No, who knows that? How will they know that? And I know there's something in the scripture that says, blessed to the ones who have, so they should have more. When I first learned the scripture, I didn't like that and tried to understand. Blessed to the ones that have.
I'm still struggling with it, but okay.
What was it's if you don't know, you better ask somebody. it's in the scripture. You gotta ask, you gotta seek,
gotta knock,
and you gotta knock. You can't just sit back and say, "Do me, take care of me." No. You gotta pick up your bed and move something, and that's you gotta move, and that's why they don't feel bad for you when they come and take your lunch. Because you wasn't doing nothing. And a lot of people say, why they come in our area? No. If you ain't doing them because you don't know that you could do something, that's a problem. And there's a lot of money, and people are capitalizing off that throughout the nation, and we don't know.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad we're talking about this CRA thing.
Because they don't know that area is zoned for 48, 54 feet or higher, and you just think it's a lot. And all you see around the lot is houses. So what do? well, what do some people do? I don't say they, because that implies something else. But what do people do? They come in, they buy that lot, they buy that lot, they buy that lot, and then they turn around and make you grandma paid $30,000 for that house in 1960, and they offer you $377,000. You say, what? I'm selling. And you don't know they playing chess. Because now they're going to turn around, Rob, and you can't even go to the backyard. You can't find the backyard you used to play in because they, and Rob and if they put up condos, they'll, as Linda say, they'll find out what's required for quote unquote low. They don't call it low income housing anymore. Workforce, and workforce housing can be still, even if it's rental, it can be over $3,000 a month.
So Jane, that's why you was emphasizing the commissioners, because the commissioners run the CRA, and the commissioners say we getting ready to direct and develop and take this thing to where we want to take it.
Come on,
Absolutely.
Rob.
Wow.
And if you don't know, it does not include you. So if you, but you know before they know that Miss So-and-so's grandmother just passed next door. And when they come knocking at your door, because she was 3 years behind in the taxes, and they're going to tell you it's about to go to the auction. And you say, oh my goodness, we're going to lose Mom's house. They said, no, we're going to take care of that for you. And we're going to give you some money.
Man.
And you think you hit lotto, and you just got taken.
Yeah. Good morning, Miss Vickers, Miss Carol Miller, Parnell. Hey, Parnell say Casa Rob, Linda. Casa Rob. That's my boy.
That's gonna be the back. That's gonna be the back part, Rob.
That's be the back part. A little winger back there. Miss Anna DP. Linda always getting smart. Congratulations. You know,
Casa Rob, I like
yeah.
it.
Who else we have here? We have Curtis Keckler. Yeah, he's in Curtis, smart dude, man. He asks
questions. Ask questions, folks. Don't just say y'all there. I know y'all got
Denise. That's just Pat, Brenda Brown, Nail Spa. Good morning. I hope y'all picking up what we putting down here, because we want y'all to understand this stuff. Who was that? V said suckered. I don't know about that. Okay, V.
Yeah.
Okay, V. Let
me just say, I didn't know about all these funding sources until I started working with that developer. I didn't know that all those tall, beautiful buildings were tax credits or from the state, grants, 1% money, 0.5% money, all those alphabet soups and acronyms and all that funding out there. And until you seek, like you guys said, we talked about, Linda, we own this land. What are we going to do? And I'm like, okay, you're right. And I literally had to just say, let me just buckle down and learn. But I didn't know. So that you asked the question, Robert, how do we know? How do we know? Make it your business to know.
Yeah,
that's your business to know.
And it's something, but that's the same about financial planning. I mean, people think that they need a lot of money to do financial planning, but financial planning, you need to know what's going on so you can save your money and direct your money. Carol says, question, how much does it cost, or what does an individual have to bring to the table with the grant money? Well, I mean, grant is grant, Carol. I mean, grant is no money. It's grant. That means that you don't have to pay it back. And a lot of people
need to bring something to the table.
But Linda, just like this, it's going to cost us to build 21, 22 units, and you said just the cost is going to be, what, $8 million or something to build that. Mm-hmm. I'm just keeping some on the side because you just, you got $1 million here, and you're getting all these grants. So I don't want you to surprise me and say I got to come up with $2 million out of the 6. You know what I mean? I mean, I want to be able to say, but there are some deals that people didn't come up with no money, correct?
100%. But what they brought to the table is an idea.
All the land.
And the land is great, but can you make it happen? Right. Do you have the reputation, the tenacity, the contact? We got grant money, and we just gave $50,000 to the architect that we didn't have to come out of our pockets. And I'm sharing this because not to brag, I'm sharing this because I want people to know. And so I went to all those meetings and said, listen, I got the land. I got an architect waiting. I got 5 GCs ready to build. That's what we bring to the table. You're right. The grant is, you don't have to pay it back, but you just can't be, hey, I just want grant. What
Grant for what?
Yeah, and you're right. And see, and V, what we bought that land. Shoot.
04.
Yeah, we bought that land in 2004. I mean, we paid $40,000 for the land, and the land is
That's what got us this far. Just the fact that we do have something.
You gotta have ownership now. That's one thing.
Wait, but don't forget now, Rob, because of location because of location and time, that land has greater value than
Big
when
time.
you purchased it in 2004.
Oh my God.
In a CRA zone, it's in what we call a transit-oriented district, TOD, which is another part of money because now Brightline Metro Rail is within a mile. I mean, it is now been rezoned. And to your point, it's just sit tight. You just think you can only build a duplex. But boy, just give it a couple decades.
Yeah.
That's true.
And earn money while you are waiting.
That's right. Because when we bought that land, I mean, it was like 5 lots joined together, and it was like zoned for duplexes. And we could have built duplexes, 20 years ago, but we didn't. They got different commissioners.
Yep.
The commissioners changed with the CRA, changed the zoning. Can you believe that? That's why James says so important. Them commissioners, man, you got to get to know them. They changed the zoning and said, hey, y'all ain't got to just build duplexes on these 5 lots that's joined together. Now y'all can go up high.
They put a moratorium, no more duplexes.
Ooh, wow.
They don't want a duplex where they got 8 people living on each side. So we can't even build it today if we wanted to.
Wow. So now they say they want more housing, so we got to build up higher and build more units. And who did that? Who decided that? Them commissioners who control the CRA, who says, okay, we're gonna give you some grant money, and that's what Linda working. That's why she not here. Hadn't been here for over a year. But you work it, girl, work it. I like it.
I have no comment. That's family business.
But you know what's interesting, like I'm saying, and then what we're discussing, CRAs are all over the country and people never heard of it. And when you're on the outside looking in, man, it's hard to know what's really going on. You got to get involved if you want to. And a lot of people, that's why people call me Henderson. And my grandmama left me some land, in the middle of Two Buckshot County. And it's right in the middle. It don't have infrastructure. It don't have water. It don't have electric. It don't have no roads. I mean, so that's going to be 100 years from now. So I'm not saying don't buy it. But I'm definitely saying don't sell it, because that could be generational wealth. Okay. That could be 100 years ago. Your kids will be able to by the time they start building out there. So we buy land right now on the West Coast. We've been buying it for a long time. And that place is just on the West Coast of Florida. And it's just growing. We like to go where we think the hockey puck is going, not so necessarily where it is right now. Because if you try to buy where it is right now, it costs a whole lot. But if you can wait and you can buy something, they say they're going to be coming this way in the next 5 or 10 years. If 10 years to fly by, most of us can remember 10 years ago. James T just sent me some pictures back for 22 years ago that it was at a book signing, my first book I wrote, and he sent me those pictures. I'm like, Lord, I had hair. And that was 22 years ago, man. James, you had your locks 22 years ago,
After 24 years, I cut them off, folks.
I know, man. So my point is, time goes by. You can't stop it. So you might as well be on board. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. So what we got? Let's see. Was there another question? I think somebody. I didn't learn about the CRA until I started working in real estate. Also, Carla says, Linda, they aren't teaching this in school. Where does? Whoa! Hold up. Let me tell you. That's why Robert and Linda would tell you we support Mr. Bill Dozier and his staff, because and I told I think it was about 12 people graduated from his first project manager class for 2. Now, these people dedicated 2 years of their life, folks, to get the certification so that they can get into the business. Now, they're not going to stay where they are because they're going to learn more than they knew and more than they now know. And they'll have relationships with others who build. And I love, I think it's Bob Proctor who talks about the law of attraction. When you get into your giftedness and you start operating and blessing others, the law of attraction says somebody's going to walk up and bless you, and you don't know who they are, and they didn't know that it was you that was coming, but they knew that they had to do it. So there are opportunities that annually the Urban Construction Craft Academy has for adults. And then they also have the program that they do for students who will introduce them to the fact of, you mean to tell me I can build a community, or I can, hey, you can build a city. So we're really supporting people who are operating in that, because that's not our expertise, but we support people who are doing it so that, hey, men, women, and young children can be introduced to building our own communities the way we would like for them to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, boy. James, you was talking, I was thinking about generational wealth, and especially people of color. We go into just stuff that we see everybody else do, but there's a lot of money in generational wealth, and you go into things that other people do that you don't see us do. So you got to be open your eyes. I'm thinking about the owner of the Miami Dolphins, this guy, Stephen Ross. This guy's an expert in CRA money. And this guy built his wealth in real estate all over, from New York to Miami to all over. This guy is an expert in how to deal with CRAs. I tell you something, boy, that's something to know, to build in real estate.
Yeah, to go find the money. And most communities want growth. They want a ribbon cutting ceremony to get the gold shovels and the big scissors to cut the ribbon. They want to be able to brag and say, I bought housing. But if you come to them with a plan and a budget and I can make this happen, not just a dream, but show me on paper how this can happen. But for Mr. Commissioner, I need, $6 million from this, or I need to not pay property taxes for 20 years, or I need something. But for that, then you can brag and run for mayor, Commissioner. You know what I mean? And so if you give them something to make them look good, which Stephen Ross has done from New York to South Florida, they will back you and give you the money very, very often.
What goes back to that law, Rob? We had this conversation this morning. I think it was Rob. I was talking, probably Joe Bullard or somebody was talking. I have been sharing with people, y'all, you're missing a secret. The secret is service. Service. You're building for other people to either come in and do commercial, retail, whatever it is, or living, and the cities are going to earn their monies through taxes and providing other services. So you're going to be paying for the roads. You're going to be really paying for the salaries of the commissioners.
James, you hit the nail around the head. That's why these billionaires, they'll build a football stadium, a baseball stadium, and they get the city money to put so people say, oh my God, they giving all these hundreds and $500 million for this guy to build a football stadium when they ain't giving $500 million or $2 billion for housing. But people don't understand, James, the reason why when they said they're gonna put a soccer stadium and they get the money from the city to build that,
or the county
to build that, James, when they build that football or soccer, what they're telling the county, y'all help us and help us build this. We're going to give y'all taxes. How much money y'all, because we're going to be a partner.
And people are going to come.
It's service. It's service.
You can't get around it. A greater is he or she is a servant. If you want to be great, serve. Find a product. Come up with a product. What is this? Whiteout. Can you imagine somebody? I
I
mean,
mean, they
hey,
got rich off that.
they got somebody is making millions off
Oh,
of
White
selling
House.
White House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go to your CRA meetings and you say, I see you gave the guy that built the 398 units across the street from us got money from the CRA in the city. And so I go there and listen. I go, listen, I may not want that much, but I know you're giving it out. And so here's my little baby Casa de Linda, and I'd like some of that too. So you gotta kind of go there, and yeah, I may not be building a soccer stadium, but darn it, us small under 70 units, we house 66% of affordable housing. We need our share of that pie. So it's your job to know all of that stuff and go in there. And that's why I got my group of women, and we go, 3, 4, 7 deep, and it's more strength in numbers, and we're asking as a collective and not just Linda.
Yeah,
so you
and
strategize.
I know it seems like it's a lot to do, but I'm reminded by something I learned. I heard 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between a rich man and a poor man is that the rich man did what the poor man either couldn't do or wouldn't do. That's the only difference. That is the only difference. That's it. The he rich or she. I would say the only difference between a rich woman and a poor woman is the rich woman did what the poor woman either wouldn't do or couldn't do.
Yeah,
that's the only difference. So the CRA are learning about what's available. The only difference between you got to do it. That's it. You can't say, man, I'm telling you.
Meeting start 5:36 p.m. I know you got dinner, but you got to do it. You got to do it.
That's the only difference is what you thinking and what they thinking, how you think and what they think. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a sucker's bet when you want to try to bring wealth and do nothing. That's not how the universe works. You have to give, like James T said. You have to give first, and then when they see you giving, they're gonna say, "Okay, this is for the people." But it's for the people, but it's always for you too. When you serve, I always talk about Conrad Hilton. The man dead, and they still building more Hilton hotels, and people in them rooms. And you serving now. Y'all can talk about him all you want to, but the Marriotts, okay, those they still serve. People need a room on the side of the road. They need a room, so they keep on giving and giving and giving. That's service. So if you want money, you got to serve. If you want generational wealth, you got to serve. You can't get generational wealth by having a 9-to-5 job, because when you stop the job, the money stops. You got to have something to understand. So that's the way of thinking. That's what it is. Linda, I mean, you've done a fabulous job walking us through, talking to us like we're a 6-year-old. So now we know what infrastructure really means, because some people ain't know what infrastructure means. That's just how to talk. Infrastructure is the plumbing, right?
Absolutely.
And the water flow, the electricity.
Absolutely. Let's take our audience through the journey of Casa de Linda. Hopefully we'll be breaking ground soon. If not the end of the year, shortly in the new year. So right now we're getting the plans drawn up, and then we'll be sending it out to general contractors. Is it really, 7.9 million? Give me some real numbers. Can I eliminate that elevator? Let's take the audience on the journey of Casa de Linda. What do you say?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like that. And how you wanted to do this, but then you scrapped that. You showed me some drawings, and you said, Robert, we can't do that anymore because they won't permit this, and they want this, and they want more greenery, and they want that. And I'm like, why they care? And if you want the money, they care.
Don't give them their greenery.
That's right. Give them their greenery. They say they want green, they want this, they want solar on this. If you want the money, they say this is what we want you to do. That's amazing. But it makes sense though. If you want my money, you gotta do what I say. Right?
That's why women, we earn our own money. So we don't have to do what they say.
Well, you're gonna do it the way they say do it. Because they shut it down. I was doing air conditioning on the roof and da. Doggone cold guy came up, pulled up. He walking up like he's boss hog. Sir, can I help you? And he just keep walking. I said, whoa, hold it. So I can have some pictures of you, what you look like before I lay hands on you. I took a picture of it. You don't just walk on my property and walk in my building, like you own the place. Oh, I see somebody up on the building. Okay. Then you would like to ask why he's on the building, correct? Yeah, why is he on the building?
Oh, wow.
We're testing our air conditioner, and I'm making certain that the air conditioner is working properly. Oh, well, I passed by here, and okay, you passed by here. Then he wanted to walk in the building. I said, hold it. No, sir. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm telling. When they see, sometimes when others see us, they see less than. So be very careful how you allow people to treat you. Okay. And I went a little too far by saying I would lay hands on him, but he was on my property, and he had no reason for being. He didn't show me his card. He didn't say anything. So just because you're driving up in a truck, that says city of whatever, but so as we go through this and share with people, Linda, what you're doing, again, always remember you're dealing with people. You can say it's the city, you can say it's the CRA, you can say he or she is a contractor, subcontractor, but you're still dealing with people. And in dealing with people, it's going to take a lot of patience. And sometimes you're going to have to stand up and let them know your value and who you are. In particular,
as a Black woman too. I've been
So
called
as a person of color,
his wife, and it's like, oh my goodness, yeah.
as a person of color, and you if you can get things done, you can get things.
And sometimes they look like you, but think like them. Woo. That is so true. Now you know that,
yes,
right?
It is.
So it's just people, like James say. It's just people. And Rough House they come in all shape and size.
You gotta try to read them and try to figure it out.
Man.
Yeah, one wrong move.
The devil come in many different disguises. It's pretty. Well, she's so pretty, but she's awful.
But he's coming.
Do that.
Know that he's coming.
Yeah.
Hey, we're out of time, folks. We're out of time. Hey,
yes, we're out of time. Oh my God, it's already 9 after. Hey, listen, if y'all want to listen to this again, first of all, share this. There's some good education in here, and we'll be talking about more Casa Linda. We'll be talking more about Casa de Linda in the coming weeks, and Linda's gonna take us on a journey on just the whole concept and the detour, so you guys can actually learn. On the job training.
It takes patience, but every week is hopefully going to be progress. So,
since we started this, we already see some progress, and time is on our side. When you have a good vision, when you're doing something good, time is working in your advantage. Time is on your side. Now, if you're doing the wrong thing, time is against you. It's coming, man. You don't see them coming, but they're coming. You don't see them coming, but they are coming. I promise you, they're coming. If you're doing something wrong,
I'm getting away with it.
No. You and me talking about. I thought that's why they call it a surprise. That's why this is a surprise, Linda.
Hey, Rob,
you are so right.
I thought I was getting away with it.
Oh, do the right thing. To take us out in prayer, James.
Okay.
We need prayer.
Oh man, we've had a great morning this morning. So Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, we know that the kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came around and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. But you taught us how we can let the wheat and the tares grow together and still win. So we ask that you would bless Linda and what she's doing, and Rob and the company, and bless all those that will get this message, that they too will be led to recognize that you have a plan, a promise, and a purpose for all of our lives. And if we will operate in that you will provide all the provisions that we need so that others may be blessed and that we may glorify you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen, amen, amen.
Let the church say amen. I tell you. We had church in here today, didn't we? All right. Thank you, Sister Linda.
Hey, and Linda was in the pulpit.
Sister Linda, sister, brother James. I thank your audience. I thank you all, Miss Anna Dupree. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, V. I thank all of you all for tuning in and listening. And share this. Parnell, Carla, y'all share this information. The Street Minister, I want you to share it.
It's on YouTube and it's on Facebook. So yeah,
that's right. If you don't get Facebook, if you don't have Facebook, it's on YouTube. You come in here, Brenda Brown, and you share this because this is stuff that we need to know, man. Knowledge is power, but what you do with that knowledge is the real power. Don't just know, because a lot of people tell me, I knew it. No. What you gonna do about it, right? You got to not just talk, you got to be about it, right?
Yeah.
Right, Sister Linda.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think of an excuse when I may be late once in a while. I can't say traffic anymore. So thank you for giving me the chance to, be part of your team from my home. It'll definitely save me time from driving, and I have no excuses of being late anymore.
Yeah, I figured it out for you. I figured it out. It hit me. Yeah, I can get it back here. See, driving, and now you just go in your room. Y'all hear all that? Y'all hear that building, all that they doing? I don't know what they drilling on this roof, but we got to go. We out of time. Love y'all. Peace. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay tuned.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
Be safe. Be safe. Be safe.
Be safe.